Yeah, well, it's great to meet you as well. And thank you for taking the time. And I feel like I have to kick this interview off by talking about Queen Amaya's big mic drop moment with the Knowing What I Know Now song. So, what do you remember about the experience of performing that? Because what a great moment to have as an actor in a movie like this.
Um, that was probably the highlight of my life so far. I'll be honest with you. Recording the music with Benjamin Rice and Julia Michaels in the room and working on the music. I'm a musical theater actress for years, and I studied musical theater in college, and I haven't sung in about 15 years, like how I yearn to sing, just because I've been on TV for so long, right? And all of my shows didn't really have any singing. So this was a thrill of a lifetime. I couldn't wait to go into the recording studio. And it was really emotional, actually. I felt like it's emotional for Queen Amaya, that mic drop moment where she has this turn. She basically is turning against her husband, and then also turning towards her people, turning towards her kingdom.
Mhm.
So it was a really emotional moment. I cried quite a bit actually in the recording of it. And when I listened to it back, and my kids have been listening to it on repeat, it's like everyone's favorite part of the song. Like it's also just like a great anthem. The song is so incredible. So I'm just really grateful. I'm just grateful for the music and that moment, and I'm so proud of it. It sounds so good on the recording, and in the movie, you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. She's so cool, right? It's amazing. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
so proud of Maya.
yeah, it's a fantastic moment. And were you able to perform alongside Ariana and the rest of the cast, or was it something
No,
you're?
we
Oh,
we
wow.
actually, in the recording of the movie, we never met. We never saw each other. We never ran into each other. I actually met Ariana at a restaurant here in Los Angeles called Chateau Marmont at a party, and um, I went up to her and I was like, "Excuse me, I'm Queen Amaya, and you're amazing, and I can't believe we've been working together for 2 years, and I've never really met you." So I've still yet to meet Chris Pine. I know Alan, and yeah, and that's it really. Like I've met him just doing some press, but we never meet. We never get to see each other or be in the room together. So yeah.
Yeah, well, crazy thing about working obviously on an animated movie like this. And I know a lot evolves when you're working on a project like this. And I've read that
Yes.
the original plan was for Maya to be a villain, pet cat and all. So were you ever made privy to that version of the character? And how did you feel when she did evolve into obviously this very heroic person in the movie?
When I first auditioned for this movie, and it wasn't called Wish, it was just called Disney's, big animated, like there was like a working title. They just said like Disney's 100 years of Disney movie. Um, she was an evil queen. So my first audition, the sides were evil, and I had to sing a song. I actually sang Ursula's theme song, like the evil queen from Little Mermaid. And I thought, this is fun. This is cool. I knew nothing. They don't give you a script, right? So you just have your sides, and I did it. It was wonderful. But then several months later, it's a long process. Several months later, when I had my call back, the sides were completely different. The character was completely different. She was grounded, she was loving, she was rather maternal. And I loved her. And so that's the version that they ended up going with, obviously, in production. And even when we would work some scenes throughout the recording, it was about a year of recording. They would come back sometimes the next session, and she would be tweaked and a little kinder. Like I think they really wanted to lean into the difference between the evil king and the kind of maternal, loving, grounded queen. So it was really cool to watch her the change. I was really kind of excited to to see the difference.
Yeah, for sure. And were you quite surprised when you came onto the movie? And obviously, as the script evolved and you saw that you were going to get a chance to really explore Maya's relationship with King Magnifico and the way their relationship breaks down as the story progresses, were you almost surprised that you were going to get that much to sink your teeth into it in a Disney film like this?
Yes, I was thrilled. And also I just think it's such a great journey for any artist to be able to go through this and see the change from the beginning to where she ends up in the movie. And I think it's also just such a beautiful story of resilience and perseverance, and Queen Amaya turns out to kind of like save the day in a lot of ways with the teens and Ariana, Asha. So I feel like it's a dream come true to play a strong female character in a Disney film that millions and millions and millions of children, including my own daughter and these young girls who are going to grow up with this kind of role model. And the whole movie speaks to that. It's really such a beautiful story because it's not a love story. It's a story of love for the kingdom or the people and doing greater good and thinking of others. And Asha is just such a great heroine. She goes out on a limb and she puts everyone before herself. And I just love watching her and then Queen Amaya stepping up to meet her. I think it's such a beautiful story. I'm so proud of it.
Yeah, and absolutely should be, because all the reasons you just mentioned are why I love this film, and I think a lot of people love the movie. And of course, it was a big part of last year's Disney 100 celebration. So you said, obviously, when you came on board, you did know that, and that's how it was pitched. But how did it feel to be almost a big part of history with this Disney
Really.
animation movie?
I mean, this whole thing has been surreal. It still feels, I pinch myself every day. It feels monumental. And it's really a part of the history of Disney, right? And it's a joy. And I just can't say it enough. I'm just so proud of the project, the people involved, how it's being received. I'm proud of my character. I'm proud how Queen Amaya has been received. I think she seems to be, I keep hearing that people love her and she's like a favorite character. So that makes me feel so proud. And I love when my friends from my whole life, from college and growing up, are sending me selfies with their kids in the theater and everyone's seeing it. And so for the first time, I feel kind of a part of like something bigger, because I do a lot of TV shows that not everyone watches. Like there's a certain genre that watches comedies on TV, but sometimes they're polarizing and sometimes you don't have Hulu or you don't have Netflix. Like it depends on like where you're watching your shows. But this is a Disney movie. Everyone's watching Disney. And that's how I feel. I feel like I have a family around me just kind of soaking it all in, and to be a part of that feels greater than anything I've ever could dream of. And I just hope to keep doing it. I'm so ecstatic to be a part of this family, this Disney family.
Oh, amazing. And I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but I think when I watched the movie, I don't believe that Amaya's wish was mentioned in the film itself. So were you ever given any insights into what that might have been?
I wasn't given any insights really. And I had done a little bit of character work on that as to what I think Queen Amaya's wish is, but I think Queen Amaya's wish is always for Rosas. Like, I think she just is the matriarch and the queen and the loving, benevolent queen of Rosas. And I think that above all, she wants happiness and peace for her kingdom, and she wants the best for her people. And I think that's where you see the dichotomy between her and Magnifico. So that's what I always played. If you're asking what my wish was, I always played just a wish for Rosas. And that's why I think that she comes out on top, really.
Yeah, I love that. And of course, the film's animation style is really unique. It's very much a hybrid of that classic Disney with the almost the Frozen-like CGI that we're used to. So was it quite early in the process you got to see some of that and what your character design would be? And if so, did that help with your performance in any way?
I didn't see the entirety. Like they showed me kind of early on a version of Queen Amaya. And I loved seeing that because she's so regal and she's so confident and she's so calm. And there was something so beautiful about the way her cape these were just renderings, right? These were just like sketches. But I had no idea about the beautiful, I believe it's like 2D backgrounds where it looks like watercolor. I didn't know any of that until I saw it in the theater for the first time in November with the rest of you. So I had really no idea of the kind of scope of the art. But Queen Amaya, I had some insight too, and I just think she's so poised and regal. So that did help a lot. Like if I was ever having trouble with a line, I would kind of think back, or they would always kind of show me her before I went into the session. And that really helped a lot.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. As you said, you've done a lot of TV work and obviously live action film work as well. But what do you really enjoy as an actor about stepping into the recording booth for a voiceover role like this, and maybe how it frees up what you can do as a performer?
Yeah, I really, I hadn't ever worked in voiceover to this extent. And I was thrilled at how you can kind of go into the character and you're not worried about how you look, your makeup, your hair, the last touches, you know, final touches and lighting. And it's very freeing. It's very fun. And you just dive in and there you can do no wrong. You know, you really just play. So you feel like you're on a playground. It feels like theater. It feels like live theater. It's so fun. And I remember being in the middle of this and just thinking, I just want to keep doing this. I want to keep doing this and I want to get so good at this. And by the end, I felt so confident. At the beginning, I didn't really know what I was doing. And you're just kind of like faking it till you make it. And by the end, I was like, this is a dream and I will be forever changed. And it's helped my acting too. Like as I've gone on and done some other stuff this year, I feel a sense of ease and comfort and confidence. I think an easy confidence that I don't think I had until I worked through Queen Amaya.
Oh, amazing. And, you know, to get into a few spoilers, you know, Magnifico does get his comeuppance at the end of the movie, and Queen Amaya plays a big role in that. So, you know, he's trapped in that mirror now and locked away. But do you think he's a character who could ever be redeemed in Amaya's eyes? Or do you really think that's the fitting punishment after he just, you know, went beyond redemption, maybe?
You know, I think she said something in the movie where we need to break the hold that the spell has on him, right? So I think that Queen Amaya knows that she is dealing with a man under a spell. Like, I don't think that's really who King Magnifico is. And I think Queen Amaya knows that. So I think that, you know, if there ever was a continuation of this story, I do think that there's a way for them to reconcile. And I think there's a way for him to apologize and maybe pay his due. I don't know, you know, maybe he has to do something to make it up to her or somehow prove himself again, or maybe he's in purgatory for a while. I don't know. But I think that for sure there's a way for them to reconcile and maybe he becomes a benevolent ruler again. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a tough one because he's such a great villain. But, you know, Queen Amaya as a hero steals the show. And I'm sure you've seen she's everywhere on obviously posters. You've got your own Funko Pop bobblehead and
I
action
know, it's so
figures.
rad. I know, I love it so much. I have it. I have it, and
Ah,
it's amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
it must be quite something for you to obviously see this character, the way she's been embraced, and just to see her everywhere as part of this big Disney machine.
Yeah. I mean, it's surreal. I've never had a doll before, so now I do, and it's wild. Yeah. It's a like they said, you said it's a Disney machine. It's like amazing. You feel like you're just part of this bigger than life. And I went to Disneyland and I went into the big store there at Disneyland. It wishes everywhere and throughout the park, everywhere, the little stars and the Valentino. It's amazing. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. Fantastic. And just one final question for you. You
Yes.
talked about the story possibly continuing. So if the movie gets a sequel, maybe a TV series on streaming, as I know Disney Animation have done for a few of their hits, would you like to come back and continue this story? Now Amaya is this sole queen of Rosas.
Of course. I can't even believe you're asking me that. Of course I will go right now. I'll beat everyone there. Yes, of course. It would be a thrill. And I think there's more story to tell. I want to see what Asha does, right? I want to see what Asha does and how she kind of becomes a greater version of herself, because I think she's left with all these magic powers and we don't know where she's going to go. And like, I'm really excited to see what happens with Asha too. Yeah, all of us.
Yeah, me too. Well, for sure. Well, thank you so much for your time, Angelique. I love this
Thank
movie.
you.
I thought your character and your performance was a real standout. So it's such a pleasure to be able to talk to you about your role. So thank you for your
Oh, I
time.
appreciate it so much. Thank you.